When Microsoft signed a deal with SEGA last year, a lot of people said that this deal is all about the cloud, that it has nothing to do with Xbox. And you know what? They were so wrong, because this deal is already proving to be very beneficial not only for Microsoft but also Xbox and Xbox gamers. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about Microsoft and Sega partnership. Now, for those of you that don't remember or just don't know, Microsoft has signed a deal with Sega last year. I think that was last year, for all kinds of stuff. Like, yes, the main focus there was the cloud and a lot of tools, because Sega, obviously they want to make huge games and they need tools. They will be focusing more on online games in the future too. They did mention some super game, or I forgot how they actually call it, like, some huge project they are working right now. And they need Microsoft infrastructure to actually create this and probably future games too, right? So that's what this deal was mainly about, right? It was more about cloud gaming, and maybe that's why most people were just saying, oh, it's only about the cloud, it's only about these tools, it's only about Sega, not Xbox, right? But like when that deal was signed last year, I made a video saying that I'm sure that Xbox will benefit from that too. And even though Xbox is not the main focus, when it comes to this deal, I'm sure that when you've got two companies working very closely together, they kind of create this relationship, and that relationship sometimes, brings some side benefits too. And I think that we are already starting to seeing these benefits when it comes to Xbox ecosystem, because if you told me that like 2 or 3 years ago that all Yakuza games and Atlas games going to be on Xbox, and some will be shown at the stage and some coming day one and to Game Pass, I probably wouldn't believe you. But you know what? That's what's actually happening. So a couple of days ago, a week or 2 weeks ago, we had that Xbox showcase. And believe it or not, they showed like 20 or something like that games. And 4 out of these 20 few games were Sega games, like Atlas Sega games. So what they actually shown during this showcase was Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is basically a sequel to very successful Like a Dragon game, which was on Xbox day one. It was actually an Xbox exclusive for I think like 6 months or something like that. And obviously it was day one on the Game Pass. It was for both for Series S and X and I think last gen consoles. And now we're going to get a sequel, right? So a sequel to a very successful game. This game is by Sega, right? And obviously we've got all Sega games. We've got all the Yakuza games on Xbox now, right? So that's a big thing for Xbox too, because there's actually quite a lot of people that love these games. I do. I really enjoy these games too. Then obviously we've got Atlas, and Atlas is actually a part of Sega. They've got like a kind of a bit of a strange relationship, really, because even though Sega owns them, but Atlas still stays independent in some sort of way. I don't know how that actually works, but like if you see Sega, if you see Atlas, it's Sega basically, right? They own them. And Atlas started like last year. The whole relationship started with Xbox and Microsoft, and they started announcing the Persona games. We had Persona 5 in Game Pass day one, I think, too, last year. And now they just announced a couple of other games, like Persona 5 Tactica. That's coming to Xbox and Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken, too. So I think Persona 5 Tactica, I think it's coming this year. They also announced Persona 3 Reload, which is basically a remake of that game. That's coming early next year, and yeah, it's coming early 2024 to Xbox Game Pass. There we go. This one is coming. Yeah, this game is coming to Game Pass on November 17th. So that's Persona 5 Tactica. But not only that, we are also going to get a brand new game by Atlus, and it's called Metaphor Re Fantasio. So it's got from creators of Persona. It's an RPG. Now it's not coming to Game Pass, at least it hasn't been announced. It's a totally new game, and yeah, I think it's coming sometime in 2024. But just the fact alone that a new IP from Atlus is coming to Xbox, and it was actually shown at the Xbox showcase, that actually tells a lot. Not only about Xbox as this company that is actually really focusing more and more on Japanese content because they really need it. Let's face it. I mean, if they want to become a global brand, I'm talking about Xbox, not Microsoft. If they really want to become a global brand, they need to have all kinds of different games, different kinds of games, not only Western RPGs, shooters, and racing games, right? They need Japanese titles, some weird titles too for Asian market. I mean, some of these games are actually quite successful over here in Europe and States too. So it's all about variety, right? Diversity is very important. I think that's the word. Yeah, and that's what they deliver. And we actually seeing benefits. This is why this Microsoft Sega deal is so beneficial for Xbox, because they are getting a pretty niche games over here, right? I mean, Persona, like up until like last year, yes, there were some rumors, but until they announced it last year, I mean, Persona was actually kind of considered a PlayStation exclusive, right? Even though it wasn't a PlayStation exclusive per se, it wasn't a case that where Sony would pay Atlus for keeping this game off Xbox. It was just a case of Atlus not being, they were not interested in releasing games for Xbox for whatever reason, right? And now, all of a sudden, bang, all Persona games on Xbox, not only Xbox, but also Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass. Yeah, so something has changed. I'll tell you what changed. That deal happened, and I think that kind of changed the perception and stuff, right? And obviously, this is not coming for free. I mean, Sega is getting money for that. Atlus is getting paid too. So it's a business decision. But hey, for whatever reason, they were not interested back then, and now all their games are in Game Pass. Well, almost all games. So yeah, so that's the news really. I just wanted to point out that this deal is actually proving very beneficial for Xbox, and I feel like whatever Sega has got cooking, that's going to be coming to Xbox and also Game Pass. So we'll see how that goes. Now, obviously not every single game is in Game Pass. I mean, Sonic Generations is not in Game Pass. Although I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends up in Game Pass later, but we'll see. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.